Welcome. I'm Dee, and this is a single mom and guided life where I try to navigate through finances, motherhood, being single, and everything in between. And I bring you guys along for the journey to hold me accountable. This is my mid-month check-in. Usually I do my mid-month check-in to see exactly where I'm at in regards to my budget, my goals. It also helps me set realistic goals for my upcoming income breakdown. I usually do my mid-month check-in the day before I'm expected to receive additional money coming into my account. So I know where the current money is going or where it has gone to. So let's go ahead and get into this. I am a budget binder user, so this is usually where I store all of my spreadsheets, and usually you see the worksheets when I have taken them out, but I'm just going to work within the binder because it didn't make no sense to take them out at this time. So let's go ahead and we are going to flip the binder open. And so usually what I do is I move the past months in the back and the current month in the beginning, so I don't have to constantly keep going back and forth. So with that being said, this is February, and so I always start with my February monthly budget overview because it has my financial goals, and it kind of helps me guide me to determine why my budget has been going the way it's been going, if I'm really on task with these goals as well. So as far as the 500 plus for the emergency fund and the 500 plus for the debt, I know that I am leaning more towards on my side income, and that's to bring in 1,000 plus to be able to send money towards that. So I'm still working on that. I'm currently in the second week of my February side income. I was gonna go out today, but it was a storm real bad during like the early part of the afternoon, like heavy rain with thundering and lightning. And so I decided to forego going out, even though it has settled, because I know that there's still a lot of standing water in this area, and I'm just not about that life. So one of the other financial goals, I put breathe and regroup, and honestly, this has been working for me. I felt a sense of relief the first week, definitely when making the decision not to film my side income during the week. And it just made it so much easier when it came down to filming and editing and putting out content. Additionally, there's a lot of other things that's going on in my personal life that I needed to breathe and regroup and start to look at what I value. And then one thing I do value is my time. Mental health is so important to me, and I do not play with it. So when I feel like I am like getting to a point where I'm becoming overwhelmed with something, I push back. And so that has helped me tremendously, reminded to breathe and regroup when it comes to my financial goals. So let's go ahead and get into the numbers. So also on my monthly budget overview, it talks about my expenses, the bills that I should have paid before my next, the bills I should have paid, and then it breaks it down in the bills I should have paid before my next income breakdown. So my next income breakdown will be the 12th. So every bill before the 12th needs to have been covered. Now rent was paid out of my checking account, so I went ahead and placed a check there. My payers plan actually was cleared, and I did get notification that the trustee did receive the payment and has applied it to my case, so that's awesome. The internet has been charged to the credit card, so that has cleared. Streaming was charged to the credit card. Life insurance as well. The electric came out of my account, so I had already verified that it cleared. And then I did send the $294.15 to my credit card number 1. Additionally, a portion of giving, I did go ahead and do that. I do not put a check because I still have the second half to be able to send, so I usually do that at the end of the month. For the airline tickets, both of them due dates were miscellaneous. I went ahead and paid Papa's miscellaneous airline ticket. And the reason for that was because I decided that my balance for that particular credit card, it was a little bit, it wasn't high, but the percentage was high. And I like to keep my percentages at least 30% and below. I love it when it's 25% and below, but at least 30%. I do not like to creep over there at all. So I wanted to go ahead and pay that down, because as the other bills from the past breakdown was flowing in, I knew that it was going to raise the percentage up. Additionally, I did pay a portion to this airline ticket as well, and I'll show you. I didn't pay all of it just yet, because I'm still waiting on the little bit from my income breakdown. But I did decide to put a portion of, go ahead and send the money from out the sinking fund instead of holding on to it. So we had discussed that a little bit later as well. So the next thing I look at is, of course, the income breakdown. So this is where everything was supposed to go. As you can see, for my check-in buffer, it was supposed to be a balance of $494.50. Now that that included the expenses here as well. That wasn't calculated here. So sometimes that's kind of misleading, but this is a way for me to know exactly what should be left in an account, and then I do move it to its own billing checking account. But when I can't remember, but I'm sure that I explained that that's why that was a little bit more. So when we talk about the unbudgeted portion, you'll see a different amount what was actually left for my buffer. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to go into is the spending record of the envelope system. I have 6 categories, and this is the miscellaneous, and this is actually a sinking fund that funds the envelope system. So for me, what I usually do on here is, first I do color code. As you can, I hope you can see, I do color code so I know exactly what week was spent out of what, so when I do the weekly check-in. So pink is the first week and the purple is the second week. So you can see that there has been some transactions, and we need to highlight that one to close that one out. So we do see that at this current time. So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to take this out because we needed to actually fill out this. So let's first discuss. So the first week went from January 29th to February 4th. For fund money, I budgeted $25. I actually spent the $25 because I did go to a winery to cover my January new winery every month personal goal. And so that left $0 remaining. Then we had gas, which was $60. I spent $59 and left $1. We had groceries at $180. I spent $69.20 the first week. The remaining was $110.80 to go into the second week. Household was $40. I spent $30.39. That left me with $9.61 remaining. Personal, we have budgeted $40. I spent $29.26. That left $10.74. Restaurants is $20. I spent $20.21, and I left a negative balance of 21 cents. I did decide to go back to the coloring of the different ink pens because it just made it a little bit easier for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and start talking about week number 2. Fund money, there was nothing to actually spend, so it's zeroed out. For gas, I brought over $1. Now, I can't fill my tank up for $1, so I didn't spend anything. So I'm going to go ahead and leave what's remaining as $1. For groceries, the budgeted amount for that week was $110.80. And so let's go to the groceries category. So all the transactions in purple need to be calculated together. and to see exactly what I spent the second week. That is one way to doing it. It's at $99.95. So $99. Oh, I told you I was going to use my red ink pen, and I did not. So let's do it again. $99.95. And so that left a balance of $10.85. So let's go ahead and put that one there. And so for household, I had one transaction of $6.42. That left a balance of $3.19. So usually what I do is I just put the ending balance, which is $3.19, and then I do $9.61 minus $3.19, and it shows $6.42. So that's usually like when I have a lot of transactions, I usually do that. But when it's not that many transactions, I really don't have to do all of that. So for personal, I started with $10.74. I had two transactions, one for 21 cents, and one for $10. So I spent $10.21. So that actually left me a balance of 53 cents. Then we have restaurants. For restaurants, we didn't have anything to spend from. So when I ended week 1, my balance in this account was 21 cents less than what it was supposed to be. It wasn't until week 2 I decided to just go ahead and pull that from my personal, because it was something that I personally did. Like, I just didn't feel like cooking, and so I decided to use my money for that. Usually my restaurant's budget part of it, when it's small, like $20, is for me just to pick up like coffees, but not to pick up actual meals or little things here and there like fries or strips or nuggets or something like on the go, but not full on meals. Like, I bought a meal for myself, I bought a meal for my son. So I knew that I needed to pull that from somewhere, so I pulled it from personal. So in regards to that, I didn't spend anything this week. And so I did decide, based on how this is flowing, I'm going to change this column category to actual, so it can kind of reflect what I'm doing. So in turn, actually, there was a positive of 21 cents. And so in the end, that was zeroed out. Okay? So let's talk about a couple things here. So we already know that I do not carry over my envelope system bi-weekly. So from week to week, it's to cover the 2 weeks. But then at the end of the 2 weeks, I have made a decision that I'm going to zero it out in order for it to go to the zero out challenge. So let's see what we have so far to go towards the zero out challenge. We have 1 plus 10.85 plus 3.19 plus 53 cents. Okay, so 15.57. And I'm just going to put my little note here for myself. Well, and y'all going to see it too. Zero out challenge. And that's going to be 15.57. So before I start to reconcile this budget, before I start my income breakdown number 2, and put these zero out here, I just have my little note what I'm going to be putting towards that challenge itself. And as you know, my zero out challenge and what I'm putting towards that is actually going towards my emergency savings fund. So this is how I reconcile my envelope system bi-weekly. Okay, so I'm just going to move that up because I still need the miscellaneous, because the miscellaneous talks about is a sinking fund. So let's go ahead into the spending record of the sinking funds. So as you can see, I had little purple, which purple. Okay, Medea. I had a little of purple activity because I like to build up my sinking funds. There's many savings accounts, and so I don't like to spend out of them consistently. You know what I'm saying? I hope you know what I'm saying. So it wasn't that much activity, but we're going to talk about it so we know where we're at this point. So for sinking funds, so for car maintenance, the beginning balance is $246.27. I made a deposit of $100, and there was a 5-cent interest that was deposited. So $100.05 was added the first week. For gifts, its beginning balance was $25. I added $25. For health, the beginning balance was $1,663.91, and I didn't do anything the first week. For miscellaneous, it started with $6.25. I added $25. For Papa, the balance starting with $786.02. Now for Papa, so let's look at this, and I want you to see exactly how I get to that number and why it's negative. So I deposited $100. I also paid for his airline ticket out of there, so I'm going to minus $185.80, and there was 3-cent interest. So that's where the $85.77 come from, because that has to be taken away from the account because that decreased it. The next thing is property. I started with the $114.35. I added $15. For taxes, it was $780.59. I didn't add anything the first week. For travel, it was $100, and there was 2-cent interest. And then for the bill carryover, which is $26.65, and there was a roundup of 86 cents. So with this particular account that I hold most of my sinking funds in, if I make a transaction in my spending balance, or from my spending balance, I have the difference between that to round it out sent to the bill carryover. So that's where that money comes from. So now let's talk about week 2. So week 2, for car maintenance, I didn't make any transactions, so I'm just going to put 0. For gifts, I did make a transaction, and I'm just going to make that red. I'm not even going to put a minus like I did the other one, but that was 50. For health, there was no transactions, so we're going to 0 that. For miscellaneous, there was a deposit of $11.89, and that came from the same account that I have my sinking funds in. I also earn points, and points can turn into money. So let's understand that in the end, you pay taxes on this money. But what happened was they had made some changes to the reward program, so I had a considerable amount that was actually added and converted because of that. So I decided to just throw it to my miscellaneous, because I was creeping on the fact that my gas was like, I was right there on the edge, living on the edge with my gas. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I decided to move that to there just in case I needed to send something to my gas envelope system. But like I said, that if I went out today, more than likely I would have used it, but because of the rain, so thank you, Mother Nature, I didn't have to go out, so I don't have to touch my envelope system until it's actually back to being fully funded. All right, so let's go ahead and we're going to add the $11.89. Now for Papa, there was nothing that I did for week 2. So we're just gonna put a 0 there. Same thing with property. Now for taxes, I did make my January side income deposit of $218 for taxes, and I'm still waiting on my CPA. She's still at work trying to crunch those numbers, trying to help her sister out, make sure she don't have to pay nothing. Like I told her, take her time. I'm not in a rush to receive anything, and I'm not in a rush to owe nobody. So yes, so that was good. For travel, it stated before I did go ahead and send the $100 that I already knew that was going to be allocated to my airline ticket to the credit card. So there we go. That $100 was used. And then for the bill carryover, there was just another roundup of 98 cents. So let's go ahead and put that there. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and put these items back in here. And let's work on the last item I look at, which is my spending track and unbudgeted. So the actual balance for my checking buffer is $326.04. I have not made any unbudgeted transactions. Yay! I am so happy and proud of myself. There has not been any issues or concerns that required me to pull from here. And it always because of sinking funds. I had sinking funds in place. I did receive, small little bonuses here with the points. So everything worked out in my favor the last 2 weeks. I didn't really have any issues that I felt needed to fall into the unbudgeted category. Additionally, if you haven't noticed, but I'm sure you noticed, there was something that was obvious. Groceries, y'all. Do y'all see? I didn't spend everything in groceries. Do y'all see that? Y'all don't know how hard it has been to try to stay in budget and how to try to figure that out. And it felt so good when I made a plan that, hey, I'm going to go shopping every week like I was doing before, and we're going to see how our money goes. And here we go, y'all. Look where our money goes. Look at that. I am not living on the edge, y'all. And we had everything that we actually needed in the home, plus more, because of, the adjustments we had to make because we were gone for a partial week. Now, I know that upcoming, I do have something planned. So I know there will be a few adjustments there, but I do not feel like it is going to be a budget buster. So I'm definitely excited that my plan is working out, and I finally made sense of what was really going on. Really going on, y'all. So this is my mid-month check-in. Like I said, it's just a way for me to check on my envelope system, my sinking funds, see where I'm at in regards to what's going in and what's coming out. Additionally, taking a look and making sure that the bills that was expected to come out of my income breakdown actually did what they, clear my account, because that's what we want. I don't want to be in a situation where I forgot to pay a bill, because I do not like paying late fees. I don't like being on the phone trying to explain my story, trying to get some sympathy for somebody to give me a credit of some sort. It just, when I gotta talk to a representative, it's just, it irks me. So yeah. So like I said, that I feel like I am still on task to meet my goals that I'm setting. And I'm just really happy there has not been any issues. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to be part of my village. If you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. To all my returning subscribers, I thank you. Everyone hit that thumbs up. Let them know I'm here. And please share this with your family, your friends, and your coworkers. Peace out.